Hey there, what's going on? Coach Chris, Team Critical Bench. Okay, I'm going to make this short and sweet. I got something sent to us from Mr. Ben Pakulski himself, and Ben is very, very popular, obviously, in the bodybuilding community because of his scientific approach to building massive muscle. And he's extremely well-spoken. He's probably one of the most heady bodybuilders out there, meaning he just knows his stuff. And if it's something that doesn't work, he will tell it to you straight. So without further ado, what I'm going to go ahead and do is read a very cool email from BPAC himself about his brand new and improved MI40-X. And this is some serious stuff. So let's go ahead and get right into the great email message from BPAC. Okay, BPAC here. As many of you may or may not know, I've spent the better part of the last 18 months researching, preparing, and creating a program that I believe is going to bring a revolutionary approach to building muscle to the world. Now, I know you've all heard that before, but hear me out. Prior to the original MI40, everyone thought they knew how to train. We opened their eyes to a whole new world of growth, fat loss, and insane body transformations that amaze even the most seasoned trainers. Teaching and reinforcing proper education, mastering the basics, and then smashing it all home with the concepts of intention and NOS changed the way people will train forever. In becoming the most talked about muscle building program on the internet, MI40 has revolutionized the way people train across the globe. Literally every single gym I walk into will result in someone stopping me and telling me how the concepts of MI40 have changed their physique, their attitude, their confidence, and their overall self-image. There are few more rewarding feelings in the world to me. This fact is alone what stimulated the idea of offering a follow-up series to the original MI40 Foundation program. I knew that I had only started to scratch the surface with MI40 Foundation. MI40 Foundation really only offered the information I knew everyone could not only understand, but also apply for massive changes in their physique. After launching MI40 Foundation, I had so much more to give, and I knew that once people had a strong grasp of the foundation, they would be ready to absorb more advanced techniques and adopt more of the training logic that is much further from common knowledge than it should be. People are thirsty for more great info that can get them what they want faster than ever. Unfortunately, for most, this info becomes so convoluted and taken out of context, no one knows what or who to trust. In creating a follow-up program to the best-selling MI40 Foundation, I knew I had to not only meet those expectations, but blow them out of the water, which, let me tell you, I have done. The science behind this program is irrefutable, and most importantly, it is completely new. It's cutting edge and proven to increase muscle growth and speed recovery both in short and long term. Again, 18 months of university-tested research went into this program. Introducing MI40-X. Okay, so let me tell you a little about the info on which MI40-Xtreme is based, the patented C.E.P. or Cell Expansion Protocol. There always seems to be roadblocks holding you back from getting that eye-catching body you want. Most people make excuses based around time, but dig deeper and not having enough time and a result of simply not having the knowledge necessary to get things done in less time. Or often they lack the motivation, they need support, and they need to see changes to keep them coming back. Bottom line, if you give people great workouts and teach them to make the most of their time, they'll get the results they're after. Genetics, in quotes, is likely the single greatest factor affecting how you look at this very moment. But if you take a minute to think about genetics, all it should mean to you is the general propensity for your body to do things in a certain way. Examples. Your body may have a tendency to move in such a way that places great tension for greater periods of time on certain muscles, causing genetically stronger or larger body parts. You can easily manipulate that. Maybe you tend to walk around with higher body fat percentage. Well, perhaps it's poor insulin sensitivity or hormone balance. Granted, you may never be able to eat like a teenager, but you can without a doubt make massive changes by knowing a little about nutrient timing and macronutrient ratios with each meal. Now the important part, okay? So get ready. Another genetic limitation that contributes massively to our body composition, strength, and muscle density has to do with the number of nuclei we have per muscle cell. Now remember, this is Chris talking. Ben gets scientific, so bear with us here, okay? This number is largely genetic, although athletics as a child can contribute to a greater number of nuclei in the muscles primarily used. Did you know that one of the most rate-limiting factors in muscular development has to do with the concentration of nuclei in your muscle cells? The nuclei controls RNA transcription and protein synthesis. Protein synthesis, easy for me to say, regulates growth by essentially allowing you to recover from workouts or not. The more protein you can synthesize, the faster you can recover, the harder you're able to push, and the more frequently you can get back in the gym. The genetic variability of this factor lies within the fact that everyone has a different total number and concentration of nuclei in their muscles. It's been hypothesized and shown that people with larger muscles have a much higher concentration of nuclei within their muscles, a greater density, in quotes, of nuclei per square area of measure. So, more nuclei, greater ability to synthesize protein, and therefore a greater capacity to recover. Does this mean you're doomed to a fate of minimal nuclei, small muscles, and crappy recovery? Nope. This is where MI40-X, or Xtreme, gets so interesting. MI40-X is based on C.E.P. training, or if you recall from earlier, he says it's cell expansion protocol, and a brand new protocol that I've been teaching to my close friends and loyal followers called intra-set stretching. How does it work? Intra-set stretching is the only known protocol proven to maximize the recruitment of myosatellite cells. These myosatellite cells are undifferentiated recovery cells that migrate to muscles under extreme levels of stress. They attach themselves to the damaged muscle cells and donate a nuclei, thereby allowing the muscle cell to increase its total capacity to synthesize protein and thereby recover faster. Sounds pretty cool, right? So if you're one of those guys or girls who feels you're kind of soft, you just don't have dense muscle, or your recovery is limiting your growth, the C.E.P. is just the answer you've been looking for. I know that when I first started training, I would do the exact same amount of work as my friends, and I would get twice as sore. I often couldn't move for days. I wondered if perhaps I wasn't eating enough protein, but increasing my protein didn't actually help. I seemed to have a lower capacity to recover synthesized protein and had no idea how to fix it. After years and years, over 17 years for me now, my body has certainly increased its concentration of nuclei, and my recovery has improved, especially in certain body parts that I used to train more frequently when I was young, legs. I'm sure we all notice how much more muscular men and women get as they age. The difference between the muscle densities of a 21-year-old compared to a 40-year-old is massive. This isn't just some miraculous transformation of tissue over 20 years. It's a known increase in the density of the muscles and size of the muscles due to prolonged muscular activity supported by increased nuclei and increased protein synthesis. Theoretically, then, you can just stand the test of time, invest the next 17 years or so, and build a pretty decent-looking physique. But I'm guessing most of you don't want to wait 17 years to get the body you want, and I don't blame you at all. I wouldn't either. And trust me, I'm still not as far along as I'd like to be. And Ben's not as far along as he'd like to be. That's pretty funny. And I wish I had discovered this protocol years ago. C.E.P. training seems to work better the more often you do it. So that being said, everyone that has gone through MI40X gets exponentially better results the second and third times through the program. This is not to say the results aren't exponential the first time, though, because they are. The second and third time through just seem to be where people who had zero muscle density before are now starting to look like fitness models and experienced lifters. I'm sure this has something in part to do with becoming more familiar with the execution of the exercises, but also has a lot to do with the cumulative effect of increasing the number of nuclei in each muscle cell over time. Now, what else can you expect in this program? In keeping with the original MI40 Foundation program, I'm going to blow people away with content and value. I've become known for being a guy to take complicated topics and offer them in a way that anyone can immediately understand and apply to speed their results. In MI40 Foundations, you learn the absolute best exercise execution tips that exist anywhere. But these were just the tip of the iceberg. I couldn't possibly give all the tips, questions, and intricacies of every exercise, or people would be overwhelmed and get nowhere. Consider MI40 Foundations to be step number 1. MI40X is a whole new level. More exercises, more detail, more insights into where you should be placing your focus, massive attention to weak body part training, and overcoming your genetic limitations, which, by the way, don't exist. I explain my theory on this in one of my very first videos you'll find in MI40-Xtreme. In MI40 Foundations, you learned 3P nutrition, teaching you how to split your days into phases and optimize each phase. MI40X is like getting a 4-year degree in muscle building nutrition, but in a concise and easy to understand and apply format. Also, sticking with the MI40 standard and teaching sound nutritional concepts, I'm also going to spoon feed you exactly what you need to get big and ripped. Some people love learning, but most of us just want to be told what to do. So I went much deeper in situational specific scenarios so that you can use MI40-Xtreme as a resource anytime something new pops up. People wanted details on how to eat if a certain factor was holding you back, so you're getting it. How to optimize sleep, recovery, eating on the road, traveling, eliminating fat gain, improving insulin sensitivity, mental focus, how to initiate the recovery process immediately post-workout, overcoming adrenal fatigue, optimizing gut health, detoxing, and the list goes on and on. Details on how to eat, supplement, and even train to fix all these ailments holding you back from your perfect body and ideal life. What else can you expect in MI40X program? A nutrition calculator to eliminate all confusion that you can use over and over again. I have included an extremely advanced macronutrient calculator for all 6 phases. Each phase has different goals, different volume and intensity. Therefore, each phase requires a different nutrition plan. This will take all the guesswork out of your nutrition. Yes, it even includes supplementation. There are unique plans for men and women, muscle gain, fat loss, people over 12% body fat, people under 12% body fat. So you can be sure each plan is very specific to you. Or if you'd like, I'll do the plan for you personally. I'm committing a huge chunk of my personal time each week to writing personalized diets for my VIP Inner Circle members. So now back to Chris. These are my words. That was Ben. That's Ben Pakulski talking about his brand new product, MI40-Xtreme. It sounds amazing. I'm sure, just based on MI40 and how effective and how fantastic that product was, he's now taken it to another level. So if you loved MI40, you are going to fall in love all over again with MI40-Xtreme. So please take a look at it. We got some links here for you. Check them out. Mr. Ben Pakulski, BPAC, Mr. Massive Muscles, is bringing you another terrific product. So, take advantage of it, okay? Coach Chris, Team Critical Bench, just wanted to share this great information with you from our good friend, BPAC. And we'll talk to you again real soon. Thank you so much for watching.